sun is lined up with the moon. You see the sun is pulling the water.
There's the
The moon
sun
is pulling the water together.
and the mayonnaise.
The water comes out. It bulges out on both sides, and the water shrinks like this. Okay? And this would be, if right here in India you're bulging, that's called high tide. Okay.
So, when the sun and the moon are in the same line,
Yeah, same line. Okay.
it attracts water.
It's attracting water all the time. This is attracting water, this is attracting water. But it's like two people pulling at the same time.
Okay, so it's two times hard.
It's not two times. It's greater. But I'm not going to say it's two times because this is
The
much
mass
bigger.
is
The big mass here is pulling, but it's much further away. Okay.
okay.
So now, let's say we live in California. Okay, so here it's 12 o'clock, 12 noon. Okay, it's 12 noon. Okay, and the moon's here. And now the Earth is spinning, so 6 hours later, okay, so you see 6 hours later,
Yeah.
the water is being pulled here now, okay,
Oh.
but the water goes down here, so we have low tide. Okay, now we will go out here, it's now midnight, 12 midnight. The water is being pulled here, and the water pulls out here, and it shrinks down here. It's now high tide. 6 hours later, it's here.
When it's like, you see that water is coming like this
It-
and like this.
It has to be pulled both ways, believe it or not. It pulls. I can't explain it.
What attracts the water this side?
I can't explain that very well. But the water, it's a bulge. It's like you can't just bulge one part of the earth. You have to bulge both parts out.
So even if it's like this, it's still.
Yeah, it will bulge out both ways. So you're getting high tide at two different parts of the earth. This is low tide.
Okay.
Okay. So now it comes back with, okay, so it's midnight.
Yeah.
Now it's 6 in the morning in California. Okay, now we're bulging water out here, and the water shrinks back down here. It's low tide. And now it comes back over here to 12 noon again. The water bulges out here. It's going to be high tide. Okay, so you will see that. Yeah, you'll see that when we go to Eureka. And you know the highway, I told you about the eucalyptus trees, and then we go to the bridge, and you look out at the water, there's a river that goes underneath the bridge. Sometimes the river water is pretty high, and then there'll be some days there's no water, it's just mud. That's low tide, but when the water's high, we call that high tide.
Okay.
And then when the water is no water, it's just mud, it's low tide. It happens twice a day because of this action. That's the tidal action. It doesn't mean the water comes in and stops. You still have wave action. What happens is the water's coming in, comes in like this wave, and it keeps creeping up, and it goes up the river, and then if you look at a beach, if on a beach, when you go to the beach, let's say at 12 o'clock noon, and let's say it's low tide, the water's out there, the waves are coming in like this, and then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all of a sudden the waves are coming in like this, Pretty soon you're having lunch there, eating, and all of a sudden you have to pick up your blanket and move because the water's coming in. Okay? We had that experience with the kids. They built a fort, a sand fort, and the water is 100 feet away, or 50 feet away. They're building a fort, no water, on the beach. And all of a sudden the water is coming in, it's so far away. And then within 1 hour it flooded their fort on the beach. And then go back out.
Okay.
You gotta take your blankets and
Take your blanket. Yeah, we did. We had to move our blankets, didn't we? We moved our blankets. We moved our food, so we had to move because the tide, we say the tide is coming in. Now,
Okay, you got your lesson.